Hey guys, and welcome back to Fleetyards Mission Briefings. I'm Captain Foley.
And I am Commander Cockings.
And today we are looking at, as we always do here, we're taking something out of the wide sci-fi universe.
Multiverse.
There's a lot of sci-fi franchises out there.
Yes.
Taking a ship out of one of those franchises, examining it, discussing it, theorizing on it, and just doing our Fleetyards-ness on it. And
First lucky review, some might even say.
yes. Which eventually some of these ships might even get full episodes done on them on Fleetyards. Yes. But anyway, today we're looking at something very interesting and a great movie, from a great movie. And
Yes.
what are we looking at?
We're going back, or for the first time, depending on when the release order is, Fifth Element, a wonderful science fiction movie. We're looking at the human, or Earth, Warship, destroyer, cruiser, their military ship in this movie. And this first shot is a three-shot. It's very much out of sequence. This is right at the end of the movie. First thought, and do you have any thoughts when you first saw the movie about this design?
Can't remember.
No.
Can't remember what I first thought. Looking at it now, it looks like somebody took a Star Destroyer and chopped it up.
Yeah.
It's just the middle part, just missing the pointy part of the front. I don't know, they're odd-looking ships. Like, I appreciate the fact that they're not bricks. They're not standard, rectangular... rectangular blocks in space with an antenna everywhere. It's kind of a different take, but you can definitely see the Star Wars influence in this, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, it's a great mix between an aircraft carrier and Star Destroyer. But very functional. I think very functional. There's some really good close-ups of this. We want to start with 3, so if you go to the next picture, though, we can start investigating the close-ups. That's a better close-up. Nice model, and these are all physical miniatures. This whole movie was physical miniatures with some CG. And again, physical miniatures, when done properly, it looks like a spaceship. I mean, it does, and that's really impressive. What are your thoughts about this? Now you can see one close-up.
I'm interested on size. I mean, I can't see it being as big as the Star Destroyer. It looks a lot smaller.
Yeah.
We don't have scaling charts, I assume, for these. So. No. I do, again, like you said with the aircraft carrier, it's got kind of the command tower at the top, which is very similar, again, to the Star Destroyers. And especially the stuff on the sides, the way that there's inset with the greeblies everywhere.
Yeah.
Very Star Destroyer-esque.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think it's an interesting design, but I can definitely see some influences here that inspired this. So,
I like how many lights there are. I'm thinking greeblies at the front, and there are a lot of them.
Yes.
But there's a lot of lit elements, which is kind of strange, actually, when you look at how many little pinpricks of light. But it really breaks up the monotony, I suppose, of just those grey.
Yeah.
I mean, the Star Destroyer is so huge, you often don't get that close to it. This is a pretty meaty close-up. But it looks like a very easy ship to build. It's just kind of like a casing between,
there's nothing really fantastic to talk about with this ship. It's just one of those designs. It's in a movie, and it's like... Nobody really gives it a second thought. You watch the movie, you're like, okay, that was a movie. But, it's our job here at Fleetyards to take these ships out of the context and kind of go, what were they thinking when they designed this? And I, like I've said before, I can see the influences here, and I think it's a great adaptation of that kind of look, the Star Destroyer look, but changing it enough that it's something totally unique.
It's like the human version of the Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
And I my brain is sort of hinting that I like this one more in comparison to the Earth tech. Like, Star Destroyer is its own thing, but it's not what we would do, really. A big point, you know what I mean? This feels like it works better as a conceptual aircraft carrier ship.
Yes. What he said.
Thank you. Next picture.
Next picture.
There are some great close-ups, and again, it flies past camera. There's a few interesting things. You can see roughly deck size. Lots of little antennas, which is a staple. A lot of very little antennas as well on the left. But also very plain hull, which is good. The greeblies are in functional areas, but the hull itself is very simple.
Yeah, probably I would assume armor plating of some sort. Yeah. I mean, there's not much to say. Again, we haven't really seen these in action doing anything. It's not like they have a whole franchise of movies we can pick apart. So
we're here to look at variety, and again, Fifth Element. I mean, it's an interesting design in that it's so similar, I think.
Yeah.
There are some more details. Have you got the next picture? So this one intrigued me, mostly because if you look in the middle, there's a protrusion which looks to me like docking bay, hangar bay.
Yeah. Well, I was actually looking at this one when I first saw that, which is the same thing.
Oh.
Same size, same shape, but it's inset,
that's
I think.
interesting.
There's also one here. It looks like a ship in there.
It does, actually. That's interesting, yeah.
That's on the right-hand side, guys. The first thing you see at the kind of bottom of the ship. There's like almost looks like there's an auxiliary vehicle in there.
That's actually, I hadn't noticed that. I mean, it would make sense this sort of design would have aircraft of some kind.
And it makes sense, too, if you look at the deck sizes, as far as a little human standing next to that ship. I mean, it works. It works for me as far as sizing goes.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun to have the aircraft at the aft of the ship. So when they're in a battle, obviously being pummeled by weapons fire, launch everything from the sides, gets back in. But yeah, I just noticed that piece protruding out because in the next shot you don't see it, so I want to sort of highlight it now.
Hold on, I just want to zoom in on it.
Zoom, zoom,
It
zoom.
almost looks like there's a little astromech droid in there, but when you zoom in, it's not really.
Yeah. Definitely a docking port of some kind.
And there, that other thing definitely looks like a spacecraft.
Although it doesn't look like a map painting that they've stuck onto the model.
I don't think so. I think it looks more three-dimensional.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one does too. You can see a room in here, like door.
That one I'd buy. Yeah, that one.
Door and some equipment.
Yeah.
So it's very good detail if you actually zoom in on this picture quite a bit. So next up, we got a shot of it from behind. The three engines, very reminiscent of the Star Destroyer.
Yes.
I mean, almost a direct rip-off of the Star Destroyer.
Yes, if it just continued the shapes, it would have been it would have been nice if they'd had just a block, like almost a Millennium Falcon style to the whole block of engines.
Yeah.
But again, lovely greeblies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, maybe. Yeah. And they've got micro engines also like the Star Destroyer. So yeah.
Yep, two smaller engines beside beside the middle one. So.
Yep. I still like it though. I still really like it. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's alright. It could fit in the Imperial fleet though. It could be a smaller version of a Star Destroyer.
It could. I'd like to see this in the Imperial fleet actually. It'd be kind of cool.
It would work.
Yeah, next picture.
Yeah.
Internals are interesting because this again movie when you watch the movie as a whole, you don't really pick out these moments.
Yeah.
This is the bridge, and we'll see close-ups in a minute, but they do show a whole long shot. So what do you think?
It's interesting. The captain has like a podium that he stands at. Yes. There's a lot of people wearing headgear, which is probably some kind of virtual reality or something going on with their headgear. They're plugged in. And then behind them, we got like gunner turrets, rotatable turrets.
Which I didn't see on the outside of the ship.
Yeah.
Visually, it's kind of cool, though.
It is. It just
weird,
seems...
But...
Yeah, it seems very not thought out, to be honest. Just seems like, we need a bridge, quick, throw together a set.
Well, yeah. What have we got left in the production budget?
Yeah.
And again, very, very small and very low functional. And why the hell do you have gunners? Like, it's the bridge. I mean, if it's a big ship, you'd have separate stations or at least a bigger bridge. I mean, it's...
Well, in a way, this makes sense. I mean, if this one guy's controlling all the guns on that side of the ship, all the turrets are focused on the one thing he's looking at. And then you got the captain right there saying, okay, there's the target. You know, it's direct communication. You don't have to worry about communications going down.
True.
I mean, it kind of works for that.
Okay, no, I can buy that.
It's just very interesting. Very interesting.
Again, these sets were built... I mean, it works. But it's no Star Trek, it's no Stargate, it's no well thought out.
Yeah.
But again, I want to highlight these things.
Absolutely.
Reverse view. Here's the display interface, guys. What do you think, Stuart?
Very TOS.
Oh yeah.
Just, random lights and nothing really labeled by the looks of it.
And I guess they have 10 transporter pads because they have 10...
I don't think those are those.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay. Could be there.
Could be.
And look at the serious pack of stuff they have on there. And it looks like oxygen. Looks like a lot of redundancy. But there's no protective shield in front of their faces.
Well, it says warning on the back of his... Yeah, the equipment that the pilots or whatever are wearing is very interesting. It's kind of reminiscent of fighter jet helmets.
Yeah.
But at the same time not. I mean, it's just...
Well, they're trying to link to other things by throwing sort of visual parts in. It's cool, yeah. I mean, it's functional. Hey, want to highlight stuff for you guys?
Next shot is just kind of showing the side view of the console with all the individuals here. And again, these look very reminiscent of like Star Wars Y-wing pilots.
Yes.
That kind of helmet look, and they even have the Imperial or the Navy, the Navy ranking.
Yeah. Well, do you know they've actually got the displays are in these coloured? Is that what they are? Or they could be displays.
I think they're probably movable displays. The orange and yellow and green things that we see there, it looks like they have holographic information displayed on them.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Kind of cage style in a sense.
Got like a trackball, some dials.
You part the ship by pulling forward, back, left, right.
Yeah.
Nice. Quite a lot of texture though. Like it.
These things that plug into the side of the helmet mounts. It looks like there's almost sensors on the head, so I don't know if they're taking information or putting it straight into the pilot's brain.
That'd be interesting.
I don't know what those are, but it's...
Yeah. I could see that.
It's just odd. Next one is of the gunners, one of the gunners.
Wearing gloves for some reason. Fingerless gloves, I think.
Yes. Because they're cool.
I mean, this is so much the naval, periscope, / gunnery turret. I mean, it's very... again, very old, but not what you remember from documentaries, so it's sort of new in a sense with all these plugs and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I like the patch on his arm too, the detailing on that.
Yeah.
Oh, this is nice. It's a close up of one of the panels. Here you can see some of the display readouts and things, which is cool. I mean, almost every sci-fi franchise I've seen has those digital numbers up at the top doing something.
I would love someone to break down what they all do and realize within about 10 minutes it doesn't do anything. Doesn't do a damn thing.
I'm sure that somebody's done it. Let's see the panels we got: on, off,
escape,
escape,
V,
exterior, E3. Oh, you push that button, you go to the E3 gaming show.
That's just what a military craft should have. Yeah.
No, this is a nice tie-in with the modern day military, because this is these buttons.
Yeah.
The push-up light buttons are very much what you see on naval craft.
It's not really a push. It's not a push that much further forward.
No.
Actually, yeah. It's like a submarine internals of a Star Destroyer externals.
Mm-hmm. Next is a picture of from the back of the bridge, a view screen, which I think would be more of a view screen than a window. Although the window, that shape is exactly the same shape as the ship from the front.
True.
So that's a nice tie-in, nice visual tie-in.
Subtle things, but important.
Yeah, and that looks very reminiscent of the Death Star control room with, you see, Yavin and the other planet.
Yeah, maybe it was all the guys that couldn't get into ILM, wanted to make their own film and be similar. Great movie, though.
Yeah.
So this is them firing weapons. They fire missiles. And it's very difficult to catch them mid-shot. So there's two zones. There's one, the big glow bit, that's one, and then to the right as well. If you go to the next picture, you can see there's a missile being fired.
Looks almost like a torpedo, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't have any of the fins like a standard missile would, so it looks very much torpedo-ish.
Which very much links into the vibe they're going for. I mean, it's interesting. You're creating a contemporary, relatable feel, and yet putting it in a sort of space context. It works and it's interesting, but it's not what you expect.
Yeah.
So they fire a lot of missiles. That's the joke, isn't it? They fire two and like it doesn't work. And it's like, oh, 1 second, sir. Nope.
Nada.
Not at all. Our fuel about to get annihilated.
Well, the view is interesting because the other view that we had of the engines had the panels were open so you could see the engines. Now they've been closed.
Oh.
Don't know if you noticed that on the last one.
No,
there were open panels
on
each engine.
Huh.
I can actually go back to show you.
Yeah.
But now they're closed.
Oh, yeah.
See them there? They're open.
That is a very small detail. Wow. Huh.
And then closed. So...
Okay, good job, guys. Little small detail for literally a 2-second shot.
Yeah. So, that's it for the Earth Alliance, whatever ship thing.
Fifth Element, Earth Destroyer, submarine ship. Star Destroyer.
Star Wars Imperial Star Destroyer.
Mark 3.
But not.
Proto Star Destroyer. Closing thoughts, Stuart.
Interesting design. Again, I can see what they were going for and what they use as inspiration, which is fine. And not very thought out, in my opinion. Just this general layout of it, especially the interiors, are kind of blasé for me. But I mean, you saw the ship at the end of the movie,
Start
of the movie.
Yeah, it never comes back after that.
Yeah. So you don't see it for very long. So not much thought was put into it. So.
But I think the external feels like it has been thought and put into it. Like the way they've greebleed it, I think actually makes it feel functional. Like I said, I actually quite like this ship. I think it doesn't have the same aggression as a Star Destroyer, obviously, but it feels more like a modern military extension. I mean, this is what I think they would build, far closer.
Yeah. I can see this fitting in Stargate, to be honest, with the Daedalus and stuff. You're like, no.
It's not exactly. I know where you're going with that, but you have to change all the details. But yeah, I mean, X307 aircraft carrier version, sure. But I quite like it. I think I don't know. I didn't like it when I saw the movie. Like I didn't have any real impression.
Exactly.
But now I like it more having seen it.
Yeah.
A nice physical model. That would have been nice to get some more photos of that, but it was not to be. And there you go.
Well, I still think it wasn't very thought out, but
Well, of course it was.
luckily for us, we do think things out, and as a result, we have a Patreon page. Now, if you go to the link in the description below, there you will see it. You can click that, and you go and donate on a monthly basis to help the show, where you can bring you more sci-fi ships that you might not have even thought about. Like I watched this movie and never really give the ship a second thought, but to see it, the details and the things that the model makers had rolling around in their brains. It's interesting because a lot of people put a lot of time and effort into these things, and you don't even really realize it half the time when it's on screen, which is a shame. We'd like to highlight those and bring them to your attention. So if you want to help us continue to do that, please click the Patreon link and maybe help us out on a monthly basis, $5, $10, $1 a month. That's something you won't even notice coming out. It would definitely help us immensely here. So, but that's not the only way that you can help us.
A one-time donation is also very much appreciated at Trekyards.com. Click the donate button and be one of the amazing fans to give us just a little bit of a thank you for what we do. If you think the episode was really great, hey, $20, $15, I mean, everything we do is free. But if you want to support the show, there are ways to do that. Or just share the videos. These things grow by people watching them. That's why I make them, to be watched, to be appreciated. And so please...
And don't forget the little thumbs up icon. Click that. It's
Click.
a like button.
Click.
Thank you.
There you go.
And there's also, if there's a button down that says subscribe and it's red, that means you're not yet subscribed. So subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our quirkiness. Punch him in the face-ishness.
We'll edit that bit out.
No, we won't. No, we won't.
Okay.
But, so subscribe to the channel. There's a lot of great stuff on here as far as general sci-fi goes. And also we got our regular show, Trekyards.
Absolutely. And celebrity interviews, guest interviews, podcasts and everything you guys could want for a great sci-fi YouTube channel.
And that's all Star Trek related, the Trekyards stuff, guys. Ooh. So if you're a Star Trek fan, check it out if you haven't seen it.
So until next time, guys, here's the one and only, the legend, the iconic, the sleek Captain Foley.
And he's the one, the only, the Brit, the rad individual. Stay radical, my friend. Commander Calkins.
Bye, guys.
Until next time. See you later.